Okay, hey now, y'all. Ho, ho, ho now, y'all. It is the time. And here we go, man. We are just days away from the Grand Poobah, the fat man himself, sliding right down the chimney, hopefully coming with toys for all of y'all. Great to see everybody. Look at my guy, Dami Peralta, by the way. I got to tell you, welcome aboard, Dami. Great to see you. Now, you're rocking looks like a Sabbath shirt for the occasion. Hold that bad boy up. Let me see what you got there. Oh, Zach. Yeah.
This is from the show in about a month ago in Sacramento at Ace of Spades, and Zach was awesome, so had to represent it today.
Hold on, the name of the place you saw the gig is called Ace of Spades?
Yeah, it's a rockin' venue in Sacramento. If you've never been, it's a staple.
Is it like downtown Sacramento, or is it out in the fringe somewhere?
Downtown, yeah, it's in I think the west side of the neighborhood.
Well, dude, awesome. I gotta say the reason I asked Dom is because years ago, my first Sacramento concert experience ever was Bruce Springsteen. I saw him at the Arco Arena. That was cool. A couple of years later, dude, I decided to drive up to Sacramento to go see the Who at their their version of the Shoreline Amphitheater. I think it's called Wheatland or Wetland.
Oh, yeah.
Wheatland. How do you pronounce that? Wheatland?
I think it's Wheatland. Yeah,
Wheatland Amphitheater. Whatever, bro. I'm driving up there. I don't know what I'm doing. So I get to Sacramento, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, yeah, you got about another 30 miles out of town. I was like, what? Do you remember that? Like how far away that place was from I thought, I learned a harsh lesson that day. I made it on time for the show, thank God. But still, every time I hear Sacramento, I'm like, well, what are we talking about now? Are we talking about 30 miles out of town or in town? Yeah. Because that's a question. That's an important question, Big D.
Yeah, same. Like Thunder Valley Casino, same. It's like a half hour outside in like Lincoln. But Sacramento's getting great shows. I like this Sacramento music tangent right off the start.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Why not? Why not dive right in? But anyway, I hope everybody had a great weekend. As you can see, Rags. I'm sorry. Take two. Tony is off today. I got Rags on the brain for a reason. I'll share in a sec. Tony is off today. He's going to take his 2-week siesta, if you will, at the end of the year, and it is needed. I hope so. I hope a lot of you in the comments line in our audience have some time off as well. It's important. You got to recharge the battery. You got to unplug. You got to put the phone away and just get back to being a human being for a couple of days. You know what I mean? So anyway, we got Dami in today. Dami will be with us. Actually, he's going to hold the whole thing down. Thank God, because if I had to take the wheel and start producing, this thing would crash and burn in 5 minutes. We would have already have had a problem. I guarantee by now, 2 minutes in, something would have gone wrong.
So far, so good. Let's see how we can hold it together.
You know what I mean? So I'm happy to be with Dom, and tomorrow Rags will join us as well, and that'll be our final show of this week. We'll wrap it up, but we'll definitely come back and talk about the Niner game, which will be played tonight. And Dom, we actually have a lot on our plate today. We will give you studs and duds today. I went 1-1 on the hot and sour picks. I don't know how Tony did. I'm going to have to ask him. I'm not sure, or I would give you his stats, but I'm not sure how he did. Yeah. I split. I lost the Lions game. By the way, when we start right there, dude, 2 offensive pass interference calls in the final 30 seconds of a game.
That was ridiculous.
Dude, the refs have been way too involved this year in way too many ways at critical. Like at a certain point, you got to let the players decide a game like that. One offensive PI, that's already kind of a pebble in my shoe. You're throwing 2 at me in the final 30 seconds. It was a really disappointing way to end that game. Yeah. After they had been competing so hard. But it was a really busy and entertaining NFL Sunday. Not only that, we got more drama with the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green getting ejected on Saturday night. I don't know how many of you saw that because it was going on as the Bears-Packers game, which was another barn burner. They were going on simultaneously, but I was watching a lot of the dubs, and I saw Draymond get ejected. Warriors win that one. Finally, they break that 3-game lose streak, 119-116, but they still had over 20 turnovers, bro. What is with this turnover? They got to tighten that up. Obviously, they got to clean that up. But we will talk a little dubs. We'll talk some NFL. We'll get you ready for tonight's game in Indianapolis. We got some injury report news to share. We'll do that. And then we'll have our special guest. Nikki Blakk joins us at 12:30 today. I reached out to Nikki over the weekend, and I was like, listen, we just want to get you on the air, have a conversation, talk about what's coming down the road for you, because I know what she's going through. I've been there. We've all been there. And it's a horrible, the worst part about it, Dom, for her, and she's tough, man. She's not going to, don't expect any sob story here, but I was going to say, it's just unfortunate they choose to do this during the holidays. You know what I mean? Merry Christmas, you're fired. Have a good one. Like one of those, you know what I mean? Oh, thanks. Oh, cool.
Hey, Paulie, can you bring it back again? Let's announce who's coming on. I want to try the soundboard out. I just plugged it in.
Oh, yeah. Go nuts. Play around, man. Have some fun with that thing. So coming up at 12:30, we talk to the Bay Area Queen of Rock, Nikki Blakk.
Okay. All right. It's working. There we go. That's run.
I was hoping, and Patty, how are you today? Thank you for the super. We'll get you up in a sec there. Don't worry about it. Patty, you go handle your business. I know you're a busy lady. The queen of the scene has a lot of irons and a lot of fires. Do you have access to the explosion? That big explosion. Yeah, look around for that bad boy, because we could punctuate a Nikki Blakk with an explosion as well. I'm a big fan of Tony's explosion, because it's just so dramatic. You know what I mean? Yeah. And
I'm searching for it.
That's no problem. Take your time. I'll drink coffee while you search.
Yeah, let's see. I found business time.
No, well, we'll get to that in a sec too. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Hit up business time, because we can take care of Patty. She is a super.
It's business time. I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to say it's time for business. It's business time. Ooh. It's business. It's business. It's business time. It's business.
Stop. I'm looping. You gotta let it finish. Let it finish. You gotta let it finish
3 times. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that.
It's okay. No, it's awesome. I actually like that, because you were trying to press it to stop it. No, it's just gonna reboot. Yeah. Patty from Napa, thank you so much, dear. She can't listen at Honey Baked right now. Okay. Tommy Peralta, you'll do great. Mary, everyone. I second all of that. Absolutely. And thank you so much, Patty. Always a pleasure. And thanks for supporting us all year long. By the way, we were talking about that Lions game a second ago. And we'll get into this during Studs and Duds, but DK Metcalf getting into it with a fan in Detroit. You always hate to see that. Nice. But let's start today with just a quick look at this Niner game tonight. Here they come. Niners 10-4, Colts 8-6. You will see Old Man Rivers again under center. He will be there doing his thing. The injury report, if you haven't heard the news yet, Ricky Pearsall is out with the knee. I guess it's a knee and an ankle, so he's out. This is an interesting wrinkle. The Colts have an injured offensive lineman too. Their tackle is going to be out. Bernard Raymond, he'll miss the game. But interesting news on the Indianapolis Colts side of things, if you haven't heard, they activated DeForest Buckner today. Yeah. So we're going to see DeForest Buckner right up there coming at Brock Purdy fast and furious. Did you know also, Dom, in case you didn't, I was very happy to see this because he's well worthy of this. He's actually a captain on that Colts defense. And he is such a great leader. I know Kyle talked about the pain of losing DeForest, and I believe my memory, we lost him right after that first Chiefs Super Bowl, I think, is when he vacated. Yeah, it was a big blow. Because him and Armstead side by side, that thing could have really grown into something special if they had more time. And it was becoming something special. But anyway, that's a guy who I love, Dom. I always hate it when beloved Niners like that have to leave only for financial reasons. I mean, it was nothing more than like a salary cap thing, trying to pay Bosa, trying to pay all the guys involved, Kittle. Yeah. And he was a casualty. But how do you feel about DeForest after all these years? Like, I'm always happy to see him. I'm glad he's going to be back on the field because he's missed several weeks. He's had a bad back. Yeah,
I'm glad he's coming back. I love Defo. Like, he's a classic Niner. He was one of those guys where if you're going to build a team around, he's one of those staples. And so seeing him leave has always kind of been a thorn in our side, you know, as fans. But him on and off the field, I mean, I had heard nothing but fantastic things about him and what he would do for the community and helping rebuild fields and just like a stand-up human.
Yeah, no, great human being, as you said. Yeah. Also, Armstead is too. Eric Armstead was always a stand-up guy too. I think he was one of the nominees for the Man of the Year, the Walter Payton Award, a couple of seasons. I'm not sure if he ever won it, Armstead, but he was always like in the mix for that too. And I love good character guys like that. And, you know, I'll just be happy to see DeForest Buckner on the football field. I hope he keeps his hands off Brock Purdy as a Niner fan, but I'll be happy that he's out there competing. Dom, I will say this. I expect the Niners to win this game. Like, I don't expect this to be an easy win because I think there's going to be a lot of emotion in the building tonight with the Colts. Like, this is a game that they really, really need if they intend on like staying alive in that postseason hunt in the AFC because it's chaos over there. They're 8-6, but they need this win. So I expect a good fight. I expect a tight game. I don't think this is going to be like lopsided on either side.
Right.
But I expect, like, at the end of the day, I expect the Niners to handle their business and win this game. And because What's coming up behind them, Dom, in the Bears and Seattle? I mean, it ain't going to get easier. You know what I mean? So knock this one off tonight. How about you? How's your look at this game tonight?
I think it's going to be a tight one, but I feel like they're going to sneak it out. I mean, we'll see what that place is going to be like. Lucas Oil Field, it can get loud in there, so we'll see how the fans travel. I'm sure I have a good feeling about the fans tonight, and I think it's going to be a strong game for the Niners. So we'll see. But yeah, I kind of feel like it's going to be a close one. Might come down to Eddie De Niro kicking a winning field goal. Kind of where my head's at.
Yeah, it could very well be an Eddie De Niro, Panero kind of night out there. Give me a business time again. We got Escobar the Cheeks. Give me another reprise if you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's business time.
Hell yeah, Esco.
Escobar, you take this one, Dommy. Go ahead. You read Escobar's.
Hope you had a great weekend and rejoice that Jake Paul got what he deserved. Hashtag defund the playoffless Chiefs. Hashtag no shaman. Hashtag no butt stuff. Hashtag F the Paul brothers. That's no keep adding more to this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, no, these are like the commandments, the 10 commandments of Escobar Cheeks III. And the no shaman is so great. I can't believe that's like really stuck. Yeah, because I'm an anti-shaman guy. I don't want to get shaman involved in my partying. It's a little intimidating. You know what I mean? Yeah. If I need a shaman to party, it's too much. It's a little scary.
We also had a Soccer Bowl signed up as a VIP member. So thank you, Jim. That's awesome.
Jim. Hey, brother, happy holidays to you and yours, man. This is one of the greats from the Santa Cruz Mafia, as I like to call them. You got your HVACs, your soccer bowls, the Santa Cruz Mafia. I wonder how Santa Cruz is in the Christmas season. I've never been down there this time of year, but I would imagine. Yeah.
I think we're planning on going down for New Year's. So like spend our New Year's down there, kind of chill at the beach, bonfires.
Cool. Nice. Do you guys have like a summer house down there? Do you have like a place down there?
No, just try and find like a cool spot. Like recently we've been going down to Pescadero. So that's kind of like not all the way down to Santa Cruz, but on the coast. So beautiful spot.
I got to tell you a funny story about Santa Cruz. I found this place. I'm sure a lot of you know about this, but there is a killer hotel right on the water. If you're on the boardwalk, Dommy, and you're looking out at the ocean, it's down to your far right. It's called the Dream Inn, and it's literally built right on the beach.
Nice.
So if you get a room at the Dream Inn, you're basically looking out your window. All you see is Pacific Ocean. It is spectacular. Now, it's expensive. It's a pricey joint, but I think it's worth it because, dude, the waves are crashing all night. And then plus, the boardwalk is so close. It's kind of cool seeing like the Giant Dipper at night with all the lights on. You can hear the kids screaming. Like, it's really, really cool. And anyway, one more little footnote about the Dream Inn. This is really cool if you're a fan like I am. Patti Smith, the all-time, one of the queens of rock and roll. Yeah, Patti Smith forever. Another Jersey girl, by the way. She wrote a book a couple of years ago I think it's called Year of the Monkey. Highly recommend it. I recommend any of her books. But this book is about, ready for this, Tom? This book is about her experiences at the Dream Inn in Santa Cruz. Yes, she writes about it extensively. She writes about walking on the beach in Santa Cruz. It's a really, really interesting read. If you're a Santa Cruz guy, like Soccer Bowl, grab a copy of that. The Year of the Monkey, dude. It's very interesting stuff about Santa Cruz as seen through the eyes of a Patti Smith. You know what I mean?
That seems really awesome. I got to check that out. Soccer Bowl, that's great reference too. His wife's actually in the middle of writing a book, so it's perfect timing.
Nice. Nice. Tell me when it's done. We'll pump it up on the show, man. We'll pump it up on the show. 100%. Scarlet Fire knows the Dream Inn. She goes, the Dream Inn is boss. Great place for a swim. You're right. Rags, Night of the Monkey. Rags, I thought you had a holiday party. And by the way, shout out to the holiday parties of the old days, dude. They don't do it the right way anymore. Now it's all politically correct and everybody's like being all polite and stuff. Yeah. Dude, it used to be so unhinged at Christmas parties back in the day. I don't think those days will ever come back. Where I'll tell you the truth, here's a little story for you. When I first started at the Ticket 1050 with Creative Tony, I guarantee you he would remember this. We had a Secret Santa kind of organized thing in the office. And the crazy thing is in the 90s, crazy thing about it was like a naughty Secret Santa. So you're supposed to give like a gag gift with gifts from like Good Vibrations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Without getting too specific, Tom, I don't want to get in trouble with my good people over at Cron or anything else. But how about this, Tom? The first year we did this, you know what somebody gave me, my Secret Santa? How do I say this? They gave me a plastic blue C ring, if you know what I'm saying.
No way.
a C ring. That was my Christmas gift at the office. You know what I'm saying? And you don't do that today. You're getting fired. The whole freaking building would get shut down.
Totally.
But anyway, I hope your office party is a good one today, Rags. I hope it's a good one. Hey, Noemi, let's give Noemi some business time. Dami, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. It's business time.
Noemi, happy birthday to my mom. Happy birthday, senior lady Catalina. Any parent of Noemi's is a friend of mine. I've shared an episode with her, and y'all make her chuckle. That's nice. Well, very happy birthday to Noemi's mom. That's awesome. I'm sure you're going to spend a nice night with her. Hashtag Go Niners. Hashtag defund the Kansas City Chiefs. Hashtag countdown to Tay Travis breakup. Yes. It's coming. I'm coming. I mean, it's coming. It will not. That wedding is never going to happen. I've been saying it for all year long, actually. Ever since the engagement, the whole thing's fugazi, as they say on the streets. Okay. Other things from the weekend, Dom, just notes from the weekend I want to get out there real quick is I didn't even know about this, but what a great surprise this was. Saturday, I went down to a Christmas party that Neil Donardi threw. It was like the annual Donardi. And, dude, oh, my God. More on that later. When we do the Longbridge spot, I'll go in depth on that. Okay. But I didn't know this until that night. Dave Chappelle, quietly, if you're a fan, I'm a huge fan, over the weekend, he dropped a new comedy special on Netflix, which I watched Saturday night. Dude, as usual, guy's making me laugh my ass off. I mean, I think he's a brilliant comedic mind. I think he kind of stands above all the stand-ups of this generation. You know what, Dami, to be honest with you, I would put him like alongside people like George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Eddie. Like I think he belongs in that conversation. I could do that with athletes too. You know what I mean? Could Babe Ruth stand with Barry Bonds? And anyway, in the comedian world, in the Hall of Fame comedian world,
he's
I
on it.
I put him up there. Have you seen the new special?
I haven't seen it yet, but I saw him last time he was in town, and I mean he's awesome, and he's one of the few comedians still today that's not afraid to go in. He'll dive in on topics that no one else will touch.
Well, he's defiant about it. He's like, I'm an artist. You got to let me do my, and I back him. I back him 100%. You can't tell artists how they can and can't perform or what they can and can't say. That's their role. They observe the whatever the conditions are around them, and then they turn that into an art. And that's what Chappelle does. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out there. Oh, dude. And in the new special, Dami, he's wearing a Colin Kaepernick shirt.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's got it's like a camouflage. It's definitely like it was made for him. It's like a camouflage long sleeve shirt, but on the back it has 7 Kaepernick. So he's.
I was gonna say, is it the red 7 version? That's awesome.
No, it's like a camo. Hey, we got another super coming in here. I think is that Cheeks again.
Cheeks again.
It's business time.
All right, you take this one, Dami. Go ahead.
At our holiday party on Friday, margaritas, Modelo's, tamales, and pozole. Nice.
That all sounds pretty good to me.
And you effing know a time was had. That's awesome, Escobar.
Yeah, good for you, brother. Good for you, Escobar. I'm glad somebody's having a good Christmas party out there, holiday party, whatever you call it. Because
the Trading Places holiday party. That's like the one that always comes to mind with Dan Aykroyd in the Santa suit.
Like the dirty, where he's got the salmon inside, he's pulling fish out or whatever. Yeah, doesn't he pull like a fish out at one point? He's chewing it on the bus. I felt so bad for Danny Aykroyd. Great movie though, by the way. Still holds up. Still funny.
Totally.
Yeah, after all these years. So, Dami, other notes from the weekend before we get to our guest today. Did you see any of the Warrior game Saturday night? Round 2 of this Suns kind of Warriors rivalry that's now becoming like a real thing. Anyway, they met again the back-to-back. Or home and home, I should say, rather. And the Warriors,
your buddy Dylan Brooks is all up in it again.
Dude, I want you to talk about Dylan Brooks. So I'm not just coming on too strong here like I do with Patrick Mahomes. You like, I can't stand the guy. I respect him. I actually think he's a decent guy. I think a lot of this is like, it's like a personality he affects when he's on the court because he's really not like that. I told you guys, if you watch that documentary on Netflix about the Summer Olympics last year, they do a whole thing about the Canadian team.
Right.
Out to the play. I mean, they do it with the French, the Canadian. It's not only about the Americans. It's mostly about the American team, but they do look at all the other teams like their opponents. And when you hear Dylan Brooks interviewed, he's super chill, super calm, super relaxed, sounds super gentle. And you see him on the court, he's a complete a-hole. So it's hard to make sense of all that. But the fact that He punched Steph Curry in the stomach essentially last Thursday.
Yep.
Got a flagrant one with no ejection. Then Draymond Saturday back home at Chase Center, he just got into like a verbal spat, as he will, as Draymond does, and they ejected him. I thought that was BS, and I think Steve Kerr did too. What was your take on that whole thing, Dommy?
Same thing. I mean, he went down, he shoved the guy. It was a little much. But then as soon as the talking starts happening and he starts bantering with the referees, and his temperature just keeps going up and up and up. You can see him boiling over. So kind of saw it coming, but he's got the reputation, so it carries with him. And somehow he's still not able to like tamper it and dial himself back when he knows that's kind of what's going to happen. So I feel terrible about it, but it's Draymond.
I also think, Dom, one of the greatest mysteries and I'm not trying to be dramatic about this. This is just something I simply don't understand for the life of me, is that Steph Curry is still basically the most unprotected superstar in the history of the NBA. It's an unwritten thing. We've all been watching basketball. We all know, whether it was Michael Jordan. Now, Michael took an ass kicking. He took a beating, but the refs also looked out for him if things got too crazy. Dude, with Steph Curry, you can basically slap this guy in the face and then walk away like with no consequences. I mean, the other night at the end of that game, the Phoenix game we're talking about, there was a sequence where he was fouled twice. He was fouled. Devin Booker was basically pulling his arm, intentionally trying to foul him. No whistle. He goes under the basket for a layup. He gets jacked again. No whistle. And then he made the layup. But after play stoppage, he's looking around like, dude, what the hell is going on? Do you have any I don't know what to make of that. I don't know why it's open season on stuff. I don't get it.
He might as well be like a two-way contract G Leaguer playing. That's the kind of respect he gets from the referees. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's one of the top 10 players of all time in the NBA. He hustles nonstop. He never takes a play off. He's like one of the best people ever on planet Earth, but he can't get a freaking call. It's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense, and it's really gets frustrating, not only for all the fans, obviously the players, and for Coach Kerr and everything else. All right, let's do this. How about this, Dommy? Only because time's a factor.
Yeah, we got another super. There you go. We got Los D. You want to take this one?
Sure. Los D, Merry Early Christmas PMP. Amazing party at Kukari's last night. That's a great spot. Yeah, Kukari's nice. I think it's like a Greek Mediterranean spot downtown. Mm-hmm. I've had lunch there. We had lunch there with Kate Scott and Pecan, a whole crew years ago. Shout out to the Transamerica Pyramid, my favorite high rise in downtown SF and Air Hotel. Cheers. Hey, Los D, I love you, man. And tomorrow we'll give you a lot of love on the show. And I got to tell you that I still feel the same way too. I'm not a Salesforce Tower guy, Dommy. I'm partial to I'm a Transamerica Pyramid guy, dude. I hate that giant phallic symbol has taken over our skyline. Like we got a giant dong, you know what I mean? It's sitting in the
light it up.
What are we doing here? Light it up. You know what I mean? And it gets in the way of my view of the Transamerica building, which really pisses me off. But thank you, Los D. I feel the same way. All right, Tommy, we're going to do a speed version of Studs and Duds. Okay. And then we're going to do a long bridge, and then we're going to bring our guest in, Nikki Blakk, today. I like to call her the rock queen of the Bay Area. Man. Super cool, super talented, and a friend of mine for a long time. All right, let me start with my
Studs time.
Yeah, nice, Tommy. Nice. Okay, my studs. This is gonna be nothing, no, kind of production elements today. We're just gonna kind of walk through this. Studs, you ready for this, Tom? I don't know if you're ready for what I'm bringing. I'm bringing a two-way tie. I'm gonna give you the Chicago Bears as my game ball for studs. And you ready for this? The Jacksonville effing Jaguars, bro.
Yeah,
they get a game ball too. They're studs. Nobody. And I mean, nobody is talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you missed yesterday, let me tell you what these guys did. Trevor Lawrence rolls into Mile High, dude, and beats I think the Broncos had won 9 straight there, if I'm not mistaken. 9 straight. They lose on their own field. And I'll tell you what, dude, Trevor Lawrence, as the kids say, he seems to be about that life, right?
Yeah.
He's about that life. Now, he's a competitor. I'm happy to see him finally having a good year. He's been under a lot of scrutiny for a long time down there in Jacksonville. But it's just kind of funny, and it's ironic to me, Dom, that you think about the AFC, and we're guilty of it too on this show. We talk about the Patriots, you know what I mean? We talk about the Broncos. We talk about like all these other teams. nobody has been talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. They might be one of the more dangerous teams out there. And that win yesterday is a real big one for them and their confidence. Cold weather city, on the road, all that stuff. They checked all the boxes. Now, the Chicago Bears, I want to give a game ball stud status to also, just because of the way that they came back and won that game against Green Bay. Was outplaying them. The Bears couldn't do anything, and the wind was out of control, dude. There were cups blowing across the field. It was great. Yeah, very candlestick-esque. But anyway, they rally late in the fourth quarter. They tie the game. They go to overtime. Caleb Williams with just an amazing throw to DJ Moore. Really, really fun game. So the Bears get that win in overtime, 22-16. So game ball for studs to the Bears. Game ball being studs to the Jaguars. How about you, Dami? What was your stud of the weekend?
Yeah, mine was actually kind of going off total topic. So I'm going with Mike Brown's comment about supporting the 49ers. So he like glowingly was talking about the Niners in the post game yesterday. Yeah. So all over it, like Brown supporting the faithful. I mean, that was fantastic. So he was definitely my stud for the week. Kind of off topic, but I mean, I'm a huge Brown fan, so I love that.
Oh, dude, Mikey Brown for freaking life. And he rides a Harley, dude. When the off season comes, he's on the road. He goes on these long bike rides. He goes to Sturgis, you know what I mean? He does all that stuff. Hey, can you do you, and if you can't, no big deal at all, not a problem. Do you have access to the Mike Brown quote for the people that haven't seen it? I think it might be in bookmarks. I think.
Right. Yeah, I think we got it in bookmarks. Hang tight.
All right, if you can pull it up, Tommy, throw it up there. And if not, no big deal. I'm going to check too real quick. Stand by, everybody. Let me see what we're dealing with here. And bada bing, bada blip. We need like some ding, ding, ding,
totally.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, no, it's not in bookmarks. I don't think. Oh, you got it. Okay.
All right.
There he is. Yeah. I can't hear him, no, Dami.
Oh, no sound?
I can't hear him. Yeah, blow him up a little bit. He might be muted down there. I can't see.
Yeah, he's not muted. Oh, shoot.
How about the level on your board? Maybe the level on your board is down. I'm not sure. I'm guessing. Yeah. Are you using Tony's Roadcaster?
Yeah, I just plugged it in. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You know what? Well, forget it. Just tell people what he said then. No big deal.
I mean, essentially just celebrating that the Niners clinched the playoff spot. So he was all about it. So, yeah. I love Mike Brown. Fantastic.
Me too. No, one of the great guys of all time. And the funny thing about this, and you guys can find it on Twitter, look it up later, but it was Mikey Brown at a Knicks press conference talking Niner ball. Like, it was weird, out of context kind of moment. Really, really cool to see that. All right, Tommy, my dud of the weekend. I got to go to a DK Metcalf, man. If you didn't see this yesterday, Lions Steelers, really big game. Steelers get the win. I talked about those two offensive pass interference calls at the end of the game. Totally bogus. But sometime, I think this was in the second half, some Lions fans, as Tom Tolbert would say, what's the word he always uses? It's like a wrestling term. Come on, what is it? I can't think of the name. Some lemon head, some melon head, whatever. This guy, knucklehead type. Jabroni. That's jabroni. Some jabroni reaches over there's the footage right there. This guy's wearing a blue wig. He looks nuts. And, I don't know. There are rumors going around that this guy said something racial to Metcalf. And if that's the case, I can't help the fan at all. You can't be yelling racial stuff out in any context, anywhere, anytime. But the worst thing about this, you see, there's a little kid sitting there. I don't know if this is the guy's wife sitting there, but it has to be an uncomfortable moment for the little kid where he doesn't understand. Like, these guys are heroes. Now he's attacking a fan. So I do want to crack DK Metcalf a little bit. You got to just ignore that stuff, dude. And he knows this, dude. These guys have been a pro for a long time. He knows. But it just goes to show you that if you play along with that, if you let somebody get into your head, something really bad could happen. I imagine the NFL is going to at least fine him pretty severely. You cannot put your hands on a fan. That is a major no-no in all the sports, regardless of what the guy's saying. If I was DK, you know what I mean? If Metcalf is down there being like, hey, this guy's yelling racial stuff, get him out of here. Yeah. Just tell security. Tell somebody to go get security and have the guy thrown out. I'm sure they would have. So, but just because it was such a bad look, there's a kid sitting there. I got to make Metcalf a dud. But again, I defend him in terms of the guy. Like, if the guy's yelling out racially motivated slurs, I understand why he's so pissed off, but you just can't put your hands on the guy. That's all, Dommy.
No, it was like terrible look. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if something's going on, then let security know, handle it the right way. But he's had other similar incidents like this. Not the same, but yeah, he kind of can't handle it. So jumping over to my dud.
Yeah,
so,
give it to me, Tommy. What do you got, man?
Going off the table today. So this one is PG&E. They are my dud for the week. So PG&E outage, the Waymo outage, frozen robot cars all over town.
Dude. Okay, Tommy, you know what? Hold that thought right there. Here, because I'm jumping in. Here I come. Okay, great dud. I'm glad you did it. I didn't even think of that, but that's the brilliant mind of Don Peralta at work for all of us to enjoy. We're going to go to Nikki Blakk right after I do a Longbridge pizza spot. And Dom, curiously, I'm going to tie in your PG&E blackout to my Longbridge pizza spot, and I'll explain. Awesome. Let me get into this. Okay, first of all, Longbridge Pizza, we know them, we love them. These guys have been a great sponsor to us all year long. Neil Denardi, get us in the oven. The Denardi dynasty, as it were, these are some of the all-time great San Franciscans that I've ever met, and I'm not kidding. So here's what happens. Saturday, Neil Denardi, we talked about this Friday. Neil Denardi had a big Denardi family Christmas party, and he invited me down. I was touched. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll definitely be there. Dommy, listen to this. I'm sitting at home, minding my own business like a gentleman. It's Saturday, and this was a daytime party, so it started at like 1 o'clock or noon or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I told Dom, hey, Dommy, I'm going to leave, or I told Neil, I'm going to leave my house at about 12:30. I'll be there at 1:30. Dude, I drive into the city up from San Rafael. I didn't know about this blackout. I had no idea what was going on. Dude, I'm on freaking 19. First of all, it took me 2 hours to get from San Rafael to South City. 2 painful hours, and I had to pee the whole time. It was horrible. So, yeah. So I'm sitting there, and next time I'm not going to be pounding coffee so much on the bridge. I didn't know. But, dude, I get on 19th. Dommy, none of the traffic lights are working. None of them. They're all blacked out. So it took me probably 45 minutes to just drive through the park on 19th because every time you got to an intersection, it was the Wild West. It was chaos. There was no cop there directing. It was just every man for himself, and it really sucked. So we go down to Denardi's party. The spread, Dom, I mean, they had, I don't know, what, 50, 60 different kinds of desserts lying around, everything from cookies to pastries to pies to cakes. It was incredible. And then Neil's like, oh, by the way, we got a taco truck behind us too. So now they're making fresh tacos. And then Neil's like, oh, I got a stack of pies right here if you need a pizza. Yeah. He sent me home with a polymatic particle pie. He just goes, Paulie, take your pie and go home. So the Denardis are great. Longbridge Pizza is great. They are closed today, so don't dial them up today. But longbridgepizza.com is the website. Go check them out for yourself. You've heard us rave about them for good reason. I'm saying it. I'm saying what needs to be said. Best pizza in San Francisco with the sourdough crust. You will be a disciple. You will be a convert as soon as you try it. 2347 3rd Street. Yeah, there you go, dude. That was from the holiday party. That was in the, they were taking photos all day. So we have, that's, I didn't know you're going to have that. That's killer. So those are the Christmas trees, and there's Denardi, and there is Tony, and just some friends of the Denardi family.
He's got a little mini tree. I love that.
Yeah, we got little mini trees. We got these little props. That was from the party. And Dommy, they also were playing bocce all day in South San Francisco on these bocce courts. They're playing Grateful Dead music. It was a great party. I got to get reacquainted with Neil's mom and dad, Neil's brother, Neil's sister, Lauren. They're just great people. It's a great family. Yeah, there it is, dude. The Italian American Citizens Club. You know what I mean? That's where I want.
Sign me up. I am all in.
Me too. It's funny. I was telling Dom's father, who's a big bocce player. I'm like, hey, man, Mr. Peralta, I love playing bocce. And Neil was like, oh, no. Now you've opened a can of worms. Here we go.
Oh, dude, he's already recruited me onto the team. It's Wednesday nights.
Yeah, I know. If it wasn't for the night flight, I'd be there. You know what I mean? But anyway, thank you, Neil, for all the hospitality. You guys were great. And final thing, and then we'll go to Nikki, is so here's what happened. Dom, I leave this stupid party. Or no, party wasn't stupid. But I'm driving into a stupid set of circumstances. I figure here's what I'll do. I'll outsmart the whole system. I won't even go back on 19th. I'll take 101. I'll snake through the city. Bada bing. I'm right back on the bridge. Dude, the whole city was effing blacked out. Like as I started getting closer on 101, I'm like, oh no. So I got off at Civic Center. My plan was to go through Civic Center, cut up Turk, and then get onto the bridge that way. Dude, traffic lights out again all over the city. It really was chaos, dude. It was so your dud of PG&E and San Francisco Power Company, you got to tighten this up, dude. This was a disaster. So it took me another 2 hours to get home because every stoplight was like an adventure. And the Waymos, dude, to your point, final thing, they just sit there because the lights weren't working. So they didn't know what to do. There were Waymos literally clogging up these intersections all over the city because I guess their systems don't know what to do when the traffic lights aren't working. They just sit there. They freeze.
It had to be like maybe like one of their main hubs or something. I didn't really read the details of why it went down, but I'm guessing some sort of like central hub system was out. And that scares me. All these frozen robots all over town. It's just going to get worse.
I know, dude. I've had it with the robots, Dom. I've had it with robots. I've had it with driverless cars. So let's get out of this and let's move on to a more pleasant topic. Thank you again, Longbridge Pizza. Meals and Artie, we love you. We wish you a very Merry Christmas to you and your entire family. And you enjoy your holidays. And thanks again for Saturday. It was a great time. Okay, now I want to bring in our special guest today. This is a very good friend of mine for a very long time. We met each other in the radio business in the late 90s. My first recollection of her is that she was working on I had a short-lived nighttime show on the Ticket 1050. It was like 7 to 10 p.m. And I did that for about 6 months or a year maybe. And I will tell you this, that might have been the hardest gig I've ever had in radio because I learned how, my respect for Larry Krueger skyrocketed during those years because I learned how hard it is to do a night show. You're competing for people's attention while Monday Night Football's on, baseball games, Warriors. There's a lot of competition. So it was tough. It was a hard gig. But this young lady, I forget if she was an intern, if she was a producer, but she worked on my show. This is when I first came in contact with Nikki Blakk, and it's been great watching her career grow over the years. She knows every bit as much about music as we do.
Yep.
She loves music as much as we do. She's a real rocker. She's interviewed, you've heard her on 107.7 The Bone for years. And the Metal Show, she's interviewed everybody from Rob Halford to the Metallica guys, to the Slayer guys. She's just out there doing it. She's living the life. So let's bring her on. She's recently, she's about to start a new chapter of her career. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Nikki Blakk to Polymax Particles for the very first time. Nikki! Oh, let's take down, Dommy, if you can, take the Cron logo down so we can see her. Because, yeah, there we go. Hey, Nikki Blakk, season's greetings, girl. How are you? Great to see you.
Oh, it's been a week. It really has. How are you doing? I've missed you.
I missed you too. So I've suffered the same fate that you're going through now. They got me a couple of years ago. And what happened? You know what happened though? We launched this new show this year, Nikki. Creative Tony Ryan is my co-host, but he's off this week on vacation. And you know what?
Tony Ryan to me like I haven't known him for 25 years.
Well, I'm just saying he would normally be here, but he's off the books today. But yeah, we launched this new show this year. We've been picking up sponsors throughout the year. And I got to tell you, Nikki, this is like the new trend. This is where it's all going because it's sad to see the decline of radio. When you and I started, it was a bustling industry. Cumulus at that point was so powerful. We had 2 floors of a building. We had the 10th and the 11th floor. We had 4 stations in our cluster, and now it's like a skeleton. The vultures are coming to pick the bones and stuff. So, but my point is, there is a very promising new chapter of your career waiting, and that's kind of why I want to have you on. Like, let's talk about. You can talk about your last day a little bit if you want, or what that was like. Why don't we start there? What was it like your last day before that led you here?
I mean, honestly, I was basically just going about my day and I was running a little behind because the holidays have got everything just boggled. And I was trying to already kind of boost my social media presence. So I was like being a little social media monkey all morning. And then I was like, oh, I better check my station emails. And it was 10:59. I look at my station emails and there's an email that I got at 9:13 in the morning that I didn't look at. Just saw it. And it says, contract update meeting Zoom 11 a.m. And I'm all, oh, what? I'm like, well, at least I'm not late. And I click in and then the very emotional, this is nothing to do with you, but it has to happen. And no one here wants it to happen. And I'll just be honest. There were tears. It was emotional, and it was really hard on everyone to have to do this.
Yeah, and you're right. I can second that. I can vouch for that. It's really not a personal kind of statement about your talents or your career. It's just cost cutting. It's budgets. There's no money left. Like, they don't have money to pay people anymore. So when contracts are expiring, they're just letting people go. And I hate to see the radio industry in this shape, because I grew up with it. You grew up with it. Dom grew up with it. And now it's kind of become this archaic thing. So check this out, Nikki. This is a lesson I learned. So I have 2 kids that are, one of them is still in college. One of them graduated college. So these are like early 20s kids. They would never even consider turning on the radio. Like, I observe how they consume content, right? Lots of YouTube stuff, lots of Netflix, lots of streaming, but never, ever, ever the radio. So the sad part about this to me, Nikki, is that you look down the road, there's not going to be an audience there, because the new generation just doesn't consider radio.
It's true. And people are driving less, and car radios, I mean, they're fighting to keep AM radio in car radios. And I will just say, from a dystopian apocalyptic point of view, we should really keep those AM radios still in the car radio. Like, if we need them for emergencies, you're going to want them there. Because when we reach that level, let's do that.
By the way, how pathetic is that, you guys? We're going to have to resort on like an earthquake to boost ratings. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if we have like a natural disaster, our ratings are going to skyrocket. It's too bad, but that's kind of where we're at. Hey, Dami, quick question for you. I would like Nikki to be able to see some of the love she's getting on the comments line. Can you tell her how to access the comments just so she can see it?
I'm watching it. I got it on my phone right here.
Okay, good. You're getting tons of love out there. Tons of love. So
I'm watching it, and thank you. I am. I mean, I'm watching you, but I'm glancing on the side here.
Hey, Nikki, I was telling a story about when I first met you. I was doing that night show on the Ticket. I think you were like doing phones. You were booking guests. And this is what I remember, like one of the first things. I'm like, oh, I like this girl. Because when I first met you, you were like, because I was asking for like, hey, play some Cheap Trick on a rejoiner or something like that. And you were like, oh, you like Cheap Trick? I do too. And I'm like, hell yeah, I love Cheap Trick. And then this is what you said to me. I don't expect you to remember this, but you actually said this. You go, do you want to see my Ramones tattoo? And I'm like, yeah. I go, you did. You actually said that. I go, yeah, I want to see your freaking Ramones tattoo. And from there, we were off to the races, and that kind of started our friendship. So
wait, I didn't show it to you though, did I?
Yes, you did. Yes,
did I?
Yes.
Scandalous.
Well, listen, it was just a day in the life back then. You offered, I accepted. It was as easy as that. You know what I mean?
Well, not to.
But anyway, it's been great to watch your career over all the years, because I knew you were good. I'm like, this girl's going places, man. And you became kind of after Billy Steele left 107.7 The Bone, you kind of slid right in to his, your own version of the metal show. You reinvented it and stuff. And I wanted to ask you this question. Has there ever been an interview you've done face to face where you actually felt slightly starstruck or nervous? Because you've met a lot of amazing people. Was there ever a time you're like, holy S, I can't believe I'm talking to whoever?
My first Rob Halford interview. Absolutely. I mean, my first Rob Halford interview was my first interview on the air at The Bone. Wow. I had done because before I was always voice tracked on KSJO. So I had like 1 or 2 KSJO interviews with like Slayer and Machine Head, but this was like afternoon drive, and it was Rob Halford from Judas Priest, and it was live, and I had never done that before. And I've got Larry Sharp in my ear, like, don't mess this up. And it was just incredible, and I was scared to death. But Rob Halford is probably the single most charming and witty person on the planet. Yeah. And honestly, you can still watch that first interview on my YouTube. And he and I just bonded that day instantly, and we've been friends ever since.
Nice. Now you're still in touch with him today.
Yeah. I just saw him at Shoreline, where he was sainted by the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence from San Francisco.
Wow. Dude, that's incredible. I didn't know about that. Oh, that's amazing. Well, you know what's so cool? I'm sure you probably know this, Nikki, but I read the first Rob Halford book. I know he's written a few of them, but I read the first one. It was really interesting to be speaking of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. That's amazing. It was really interesting to hear Halford talking about like being a gay man in in rock and roll, like in the 70s, because let's not forget, Priest was around in the 70s. They actually opened for Led Zeppelin in Oakland at one of the last Zeppelin gigs I ever played. And he was
in my interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in his book, though, he was talking about being a gay guy and then coming to San Francisco and discovering like the Castro. He was like, oh my God, I found like this oasis where there's other like gay guys. Because being in London, it was very frowned upon, and like it was not some. Well, he's from Birmingham, I guess technically, but
Birmingham definitely. London, not so much.
Yeah,
I mean, London in the 70s, there was Bowie and androgyny and a whole lot of gender bending and glam rock.
What do you chalk? By the way, speaking of Birmingham, were you at the Last Sabbath gig over the summer? Did you go over for that?
Yeah.
Okay, give it to me. Give me the whole experience.
It was magical. It was absolutely magical. It was the metal mecca. People were coming from all over the world. I like the minute they announced it, I booked my hotel first. I didn't even have tickets to the show. I just was like, hotel is going to be clutch.
Yeah.
So I booked a hotel where I'm running into like Mike Inez and Jakey Lee and Whitfield Crane, and like half the bands are in the lobby. And it was just amazing. Like it's hard to describe. It's like, you know how the NAMM convention used to be, where you would go to NAMM and everybody would be there.
Yeah.
That's what this was like. And you've got like famous people who are just punters in the crowd. And I somehow magically got a ticket. I won't say magically. I'll say thank you to some people. Yeah. But I was sitting in the seat that was like in front of Q Prime, who managed Metallica, in front of the Q Prime founder. I had a better seat than he did. I'm surrounded by Bill Ward's family. And they're just like, how did you get here? And I'm like, I'm not really sure, but I ended up in this spot and it's amazing. So because I had the choice, right? I had the choice of like the golden circle standing in front of the stage or the seat. And I was like, oh, this is tough because I want to be in the front in the pit because it's going to be like the pit. But then also, it's a long day.
Yeah.
I took the seat, and I'm so glad that I did, because I got a lot of great video, and I had an incredible time, and I was able to just see everything and be present for everything. And all the bands, you could just tell, like working in the industry, I know what it's like backstage, the vibe. You could see every single one of those bands was not playing around. They were there for Ozzy. They were there to make magic and be the best they could be.
I thought for me, and Dami, I know you have questions too. I'll get one more in and then you jump in after me, Dom. But for me, Nikki, it was, there was a bunch of, obviously just Sabbath, their last time ever being on stage, the original 4, that was very emotional for me, just seeing those guys. You mentioned Bill Ward, seeing him back up there. But I was also kind of blown away throughout the day by, it was great to see Jakey Lee out there. I thought Metallica and Guns N' Roses both did a great job because they picked really obscure Sabbath tracks, like deep cuts. Like they pulled out Johnny Blade.
That day?
I did. You didn't like that? You didn't like Junior's Eyes and all that? I thought that was like, what a great selection.
Not mad at their choice of song, but God, Axl sounded rough.
Yeah, the vocals, I will give you that. No, the vocals they're kind of what they are at this point with them, but the band sounds so kick-ass and Slash is so kick-ass. And same with Metallica. Like the fact that they played Johnny Blade, I'm like, holy crap, who plays Johnny Blade? Thought that was amazing. But for you, and Steven Tyler singing A Whole Lot of Love was pretty freaking amazing. But what was your highlight, if you could even pick one?
Oh, gosh. I don't even... It's like choosing between the children,
Yeah.
But there were moments, right? Because Paul Bostaph, the drummer for Slayer, has been a good friend of mine for decades. And so seeing somebody up there who I've been that close to for that long be in that moment, that meant a lot to me. And then Ozzy coming up for that last like stage rise with the intro music and everything.
Yeah.
And Metallica, the Hometown Boys. I first met those guys in like 1988. And we weren't like friends, but like I met them and I was like, Metallica. And we hung out and we like kind of became like extended scene friends. And seeing them be like the biggest band and kind of a little bit of a schadenfreude, because if you remember in 1991, Metallica opened for Guns N' Roses on that. that ill-fated tour that they did. And then this time, Metallica was above Guns N' Roses on the bill, and they crushed it. And so there was a little bit of that in the back of my head. Yeah. And there were just so many moments. And I will say, some people are down on Youngblood, who I'd literally never heard of before that moment.
Right.
He showed up and he stole the show for his moment. Yes. And it was incredible. And it was everything people said it was. I mean, I literally misnamed him. I thought it was like Papa Emeritus. And I put it out and I posted it because it was so frantic posting. The internet was bad and I didn't want to miss anything. So I was like, I think it's Papa Emeritus, blah, blah, blah. Guy in a suit sounded amazing, blew me away. And then I forgot about it.
Tommy, you go ahead, bro.
Who it was.
Yeah, same. Paulie and I have been talking about that performance from Youngblood since the show. It was fantastic. I mean, he sounded incredible.
Give him his flowers. He earned them.
Yeah, and he's still running with it now. You know, doing more. He released that single with Steven Tyler. That was awesome. Yeah. Nikki, I was going to ask you. I know you've told this story a bunch online, but maybe you could just do a short version of it. The day that you got to do Ozzy's makeup.
Oh my God. I want to hear this. I don't know this one. Lay it on me, man. Yeah.
You don't know this one?
I don't.
Well, you know, it's funny because the reason there's a long version and a short version is the same reason you can't remember if I was an intern or not when I worked with you nights. Yeah. And it's because people kind of discount women in the industry. And so there's a long version of this. I was trying to be your producer.
Yeah.
I was your fill-in producer because they were hiring a producer and they were hiring other people while I was doing the job. And the whole time I'm like, why not just hire me?
Yeah.
And you even said that. You called us.
I tried to get him. I was like, you just hire Nikki, man. She's ready to go right now. She knows what she's doing. Well, we got to look at other candidates, all the usual BS, you know. Yeah.
Remember they hired that one guy who turned out to be
psycho. The guy was a psycho. He crashed the car. I don't know. Let's not even get into that guy. But yeah,
but I'm just saying, in the end, they hired like 3 people, and the third person wasn't me, but that was the guy you stuck with, and you loved him, and I'm happy for that. But like, I was there the whole time, filling in, just going, really? I'm literally doing the job. What more qualifications do you need from me?
Yeah, totally.
So when I tell people I did Ozzy's makeup, they go, "Oh, you're so lucky," and I go, "No, it was not luck." It was a long series of events that led up to me being the person who somebody thought of when they said, we need somebody to do Ozzy's makeup in 2 hours. Who can you get?
Wow.
Dang. Wow. That's awesome.
And because I've worked at the Fillmore since 1999, and because at one point at the Warfield, I had lent Susie Sue my powder. Remember that. And because I was commuting like a crazy person, working these like 16 to 20 hour days, and I was doing makeup in my car, they knew I had it on me. And they knew I was going to be coming to the show. So they called me and said, hey, we need somebody to do Ozzy's makeup. And I was like, well, I don't know if I can get you a makeup artist in the next. And they were like, yeah, but you got your makeup on you, right? And I was like, well, I could do my makeup on Ozzy if that's what you want. And they were like, we don't care. Just come down. I was like, okay, seriously? And then they paid me on top of that. And I was like, this is the best day ever. So I show up early and I go to the trailer and Ozzy's in there. And I'm just like, hi, Ozzy, I'm here to do your makeup. I'm just pretending to be a makeup artist. I don't think I confessed to him. Part of me wants to say, I was like, I'm not really a makeup artist, but I'm here to help you. Yeah. But I remember saying, I usually do my own makeup, but I really don't want to today. And he was all by himself. Like normally, if you're a big star like that, you travel with someone, a personal assistant, a producer, like somebody who just wants to go, like a family member. But he was by himself hanging out in the trailer, and we had a really good time. One of the things that really scared me was he wanted eyeliner inside his eyelid.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you remember that 80s style, right? You take the eyeliner pencil and you light it, and then you let it cool down, and then you just stick it up on the inside of the eyelid and the lower lid. Yeah. So all I can think of is, for the love of God, do not let me blind the Prince of Darkness now. Because this is a frightening moment. Like, could you imagine? Do not let an earthquake happen right now in San Francisco. While I've got a sharpened pencil in the eyeball of the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. Lord help me, kind of.
Now, was this an Ozzy gig or a Sabbath gig?
No, this was Metallica doing the 30th anniversaries at the
the freaking Fillmore. Oh my God. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
if you don't remember, I commemorate this every year as the best week ever on my socials. And I bust out all my photos that I had because I had a real camera back then. Not a real camera, but like a camera.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I have some decent photos from it. And I break those out every year to celebrate because it still was just the most epic week ever. Their 30th anniversary is better than the 40th. I don't know what they're going to do for the 50th, but it's still going to be hard to top the 30th because it was
I totally agree. I thought, I mean, the 40th was fun. That was with the symphony, right? At Chase Center. Yeah, that was cool.
No. There was two. They did the S&M to open the Chase Center, and then the following one was in 2021 for it was the Prime Video broadcast for the 40th anniversary. It was the beginning of the 2-night stand.
It was the lead up to the M72 tour, really.
Totally.
Now, the crazy thing is the Fillmore was a 4-night stand, no repeat. Almost no repeat.
Yeah, they should really bring that back for the 50th because that was such an amazing experience. Here comes Glenn Danzig. Here comes Jason Newsted. Here's Rob Halford. You know what I mean? And by the way, Nikki, seriously. And the night that you did Ozzy's makeup, Geezer was there too, right? Geezer Butler was. Yeah.
It was Ozzy and Geezer.
Yeah, that's just you've had a lot of amazing experiences. So one of the things I wanted to do today, Nikki, before we let you go, is let's talk about, and I know it's early, a lot's been going on, and you're going to be dealing with a lot of phone calls, and everybody wants to know, but let's just give people a teaser for like what you're thinking about what might come next for you, how people can find you, all the Nikki Blakk fans, like where are you going to be? Let's talk about that.
Do you want the teaser or do you want the official announcement? Because I have clearance to let you be the official announcement.
Oh, let's do the announcement. I want to do an announcement. Hell yeah.
I know. Surprise. It's an announcement. You get it. It's not even going on my live stream for the first time. It's yours.
Wow.
So Brian Kehoe and I are going to start a podcast in the new year. It's called Open Tabs. And we're going to start, we're going to try and do it live, and then we'll upload it for podcasting. So, you know, Brian Kehoe, right? From Do It to Twang. And yeah, he and I have been friends for a very long time. And we just we try to get together every 6 months or so, or every quarter, depending on what our schedules look like. And we meet up at a bar in Benicia for lunch, and we have a martini lunch in the middle of the afternoon, and we're hilarious. And if we literally were just sitting there going, we should have a podcast.
Yeah.
And people keep telling me I should do a podcast. I don't want to do a podcast with somebody. He goes, but I would do a podcast with you. And I was like, I would do a podcast with you too, bro. And then it just went from there. So we actually had already planned this before I got fired.
Okay.
So after my position was eliminated, I was like, we're still doing this, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, absolutely. We are absolutely still doing this. It's 100%. So I texted him today because we hadn't said anything publicly, but we kind of been telling a little bit of friends and family here and there.
Awesome.
And I was like, are you cool if I bust this out on a podcast today? And he was like, yeah.
Nice.
No, that's great. That's great because all the people over in this corner of the universe are going to know about it now. And Nikki, for people that want to reach out directly, talk to you, message you, whatever, do you have social handles you can give out real quick so people know how to reach you? No, you don't. I can't tell. I don't know what.
I have all of them. I'm looking at them right there on the screen. If you go to NikkiBlakk.com, right there, everything is right there. Yeah. I'm on damn near all the socials, and it's NikkiBlakk@gmail.com. You can reach me through there. Oh wow! The wiki's on there too. I forgot about that.
All on here.
Nice.
Yeah, I am easily reachable. You could probably just Google Nikki Blakk as long as you spell it correctly. You'll reach me, no problem.
Now, is this going to be the kind of show where you'll bring on, other musicians for interviews and stuff like that? Kind of a continuation of the things you've done in the past?
You think I know a lot of people? Brian Kehoe knows all of the people.
Nice.
Everybody knows him. He's been that's the format plan, right? It's going to be he and I with a couple of different topic bumps, and then an interview. So the interviews, obviously, we won't be able to do live for the most part, but the best part about it is that he and I can be in the same space together. So it'll be he and I interviewing somebody while we're in the same space, and then he and I doing the podcast live in the same space.
Fantastic.
It's not doing this over Zoom sometimes,
Hey, Nikki, thanks for sharing that here. I'm so psyched for you. I knew you were going to come up with something super cool. I'm sure the show is going to be rocking, and we'll pump it up over here too. As soon as you get it launched, I'll be watching and we'll give it some love too. And before we say goodbye, Dami, I know that you had a whole bunch of questions and I've been running my mouth the whole time. So if you have any last questions for Nikki, go ahead and fire away, brother.
Yeah, Nikki, I was just gonna say, so we know lots of common people back to like the Bill Graham Presents days and stuff. So
bring her back up, by the way, too, Dummy. I need big Nikki Blakk. I can't have this little. I can't have her in the corner. I need a bit. There's my girl. Okay, good. Go ahead, D. Yeah.
So, Nikki, do you have any like fun stories from like back, like say in the office or like something that like I know that Bill Graham Presents like was such an amazing family and stuff, and you were a big part of it. So like I don't know, maybe a couple like little fun stories from that time.
I also am doing a live stream, live at 5 every day. So you can ask me like for all the stories there, because that's when I have a chance to like sit down for like a good hour and like break out the stories. And one that I just recently told was how Ron White, the comedian Ron White, gave me my first glass of scotch, and it was a 25-year-old Macallan. And there's like a whole funny story about how that ended up happening. But you want something like from The Office, like the 5th Street days.
Right. Yeah.
God, you know, I spent a lot of time at 5th Street. I would fill in for admin assistants because I was an intern in the marketing department. I would just get myself in the building as much as I could to just be in everybody's face, to be like, hire me for this. I can do that. I can do this.
Yeah.
And I was working in so many different capacities. I think the thing that stands out the most is how much it's like family.
Yeah.
Mick Jones, who you probably know as Bowler Bob from Brisbane.
Yes.
Yeah. Mick was like the resident DJ at 5th Street, and his job in reception allowed him access to the overhead intercom. So if you can imagine Bowler Bob from Brisbane doing his one-man show over the intercom at 5th Street in San Francisco to the entire Bill Graham Presents family. I mean, you're talking about the people who, like at that time, it was still the people who worked directly with Bill were working in the building. And it was just a tradition. It was just a way that, you know, the 5 o'clock mail call would come through and it would be hilarious. And it was just such a family. And did you know that they kept Bill's office preserved?
Nice. No, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
After the fire from the Mission Street, they moved everything to 5th Street. And then if I remember correctly, they just kept his office exactly the way it was when he passed away. And you could go by and look at it. And when I would go by to pick up the Fillmore posters, I had to walk past Bill's office to get to where the posters were. And so I would always try and peek in the door, and it would have like the old phone, and because he was on the phone talking to people. And I don't know where that stuff went. I know that at one point somebody bought like all of the Bill Graham Presents archives for what is an embarrassingly low price. And now they are selling it off at Wolfgang's Vault.
Yeah.
And I remember that day when they were like cleaning out the actual vault downstairs. I remember the days ahead of cleaning out the vault. The actual vault clean out took many, many days. But yeah, it was rough to watch all that stuff go out the door.
I always feel like, Nikki, I've been waiting for this for decades, and I'm still waiting. I am waiting for some Hollywood, mogul to realize that the life story biopic of Bill Graham is a home run waiting to happen. Like, his life story is so freaking amazing. Escaping Nazi Germany, coming over to the States, Fillmore West, Fillmore East. Like, he built the model for concert festivals that's basically still being used today. Like, everyone's like, hey, I love festivals. Well, guess what? Bill Graham was doing that freaking 50 years ago, literally, with bills that would blow you away. So I love hearing you talk about Bill Graham. It's super cool, Nikki. And I wish you tons of success. I know you're going to crush it because you're a talented person and you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about. So we love you. We just wanted to say hello and let people know what's coming next. There's a little love from Escobar, one of our great listeners right there. And let's just be in touch down the road. But we wish you a happy holiday season, Nikki. And we'll talk. Hope to see you at Primus on the 30th. We'll be there.
Oh, yeah. I got to call somebody for that.
Okay. All right, let's have a drink at the show. I'll see you there, Nikki, and happy holidays. Yeah, talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. There she goes, everybody. Nikki Blakk, Bay Area's rock queen, one of the coolest on-air personalities that we had, and it's just a shame. But you can see it didn't look like she's not moping. That's for sure.
No.
Onward and upward. You don't have time. You just pick up the pieces and start your next thing. And I know she's going to do great, man. I know she's going to do great.
We should remind everybody. So it's the Live at 5. So that's on her YouTube channel. So I think I picked up on it the other day. It was great. So yeah, and it's really like a question and answer, and she's really interactive with the audience, kind of like how we are here. So I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah, she's super cool, man. She's one of our friends. I'll tell you one more Nikki Blakk story, and then we can do we do your spot today, Tommy. But do a little Peralta Arts, and we'll talk about the food bank again. But really, really cool Nikki story is from the year 2008, and I was at the Warfield. I didn't even know Nikki Blakk was at this gig. This is a pretty wild story. I was at the Warfield seeing Phil Lesh and friends.
Nice.
They had done a 5-night run, Dom, and this was the last night. And that was the point, I think, where the ownership of the Warfield was changing hands from the Bill Graham Presents people to Golden Voice or one of these other new promoters. Yeah, maybe Clear Channel, something like that. So Phil and all the dead people were like, well, our loyalties are with the Bill Graham Presents people, so we're not gonna play this venue anymore. And they didn't for many, many years. They finally came back. But so after the Phil Lesh show that night, they literally closed the doors after the crowd left, and it became a private party. I'd never seen anything like this. Like, they brought couches out on stage. People are hanging out. Backstage was open, so the drinks were flowing. There was food all over the place. And here's the funny thing, Dom. I called Lee Hammer, and I'm like, yo, Hammer, I ain't coming in tomorrow, man, because this thing was getting out of control. And he was super cool. I'm like, listen, this is just a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I'm at a private party with Phil Lesh. Bob Weir's here. You know who was there that night, too, hanging out was Jacob Dylan. Bob Dylan's kid hanging out there. And so it was hanging out. And then I wound up, this party, Dom, went all freaking night into the morning. So I was still at the Warfield, and I looked at my watch, and I'm like, you know, Murph is starting the show right now. I'm going to call him. So I called Murph from backstage at the Warfield to start. And it was pretty funny. He put me on the air, and there was all this chaos going around. And Murph's like, what's all that noise in the background? And I'm like, these are just party goers, man. These are festive party goers. And this girl came up and goes, here, let me talk to him. And she just took the phone, some random, I don't have no idea who this person was. So this girl took the phone and started talking to Murph on the Murph and Mac show when I was partying.
50,000 watts.
I've always wanted a copy of that. I never heard it back, but I've always wanted to hear that. But anyway,
that's amazing.
Night, we're walking around, and all of a sudden I run into Nikki Blakk, because like she said, she used to work at the Warfield all the time. Yep. And I was like, and by the way, funny thing about Nikki, she is not a deadhead at all. She is a hard rocking chick, man. You got to have loud guitars, leather, you know what I mean? She's a metal girl. That's cool. I like metal too. Oh, yeah. But I was like, oh my God, Nikki, what are you doing here? And she was like, oh, you know, I'm working. So one thing leads to another, bro. This is what she did. She goes, you want to go see Jerry Garcia's dressing room? And I'm like, yeah. So we walk down this hallway. And dude, this is in 2008. So Jerry had been dead more than 10 years at this point. And she takes me down there. It was at the end of a hallway. Jerry had his own room, and his name was still on the door. And I think there was like a star on the door. And she opened it up and let me go in there. And I was like, oh my God. It was a small little room, but that's where Jerry used to hang at every Warfield show. Like, that was his space. So just kind of standing in there was special for me, and Nikki made that happen. And then one other thing, she also showed me this room down back there. You might know about this. I had never heard about this. A lot of the artists that have played there, they all sign this one wall. Like, the public never sees it. So I saw, just glancing around the wall, I saw Kurt Cobain. I saw a little note he had written on the wall. I saw Henry Rollins. I saw Phil Lesh. Like, all these guys had signed these little notes, and just literally on the wall itself. So it was like being in a museum. Awesome. Yeah. So anyway,
before, it's so killer. And Cow Palace had a similar thing. It was basically this wood wall that everybody signed, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, Bonnie Scarlet Fire. She's one of my sisters in the Grateful Dead scene. Yeah, she took me into Jerry's freaking room. I'm saying, it was amazing. And Nikki made that happen, and that was a real surprise that night, because she is not a deadhead, and there she was, just working the scene and being super cool. So yeah, Bonnie, you would have loved it. I still get chills even thinking about that. That I was in his couch, was sitting there. I'm like, damn, this is where Jerry would come and smoke butts and hang out, between sets and everything.
Yeah, the particles. It's right there.
Yeah, man. So, hey, you know what, Tommy? Speaking of particles, let's do this. Let's get into a stellar design spot and talk about the food drive that you revived, dude. You reprised this. I want to thank you for doing that because I hadn't thought of that. But first of all, Stellar Design. This is Dom's company, and we know about the great work Dom does, man. He brings great passion and great artistic sensibility to every project that he gets behind. And again, we like to encourage people because if you have your own marketing campaign, if you have a special event coming up, or you just need a personalized artwork for any event or any marketing campaign or any advertising campaign, talk to Dom Peralta. Email Dommy at dominic@stellar.design. Dominic@stellar.design, and put him to work for you because you've seen the work he's done for us all year long. It's been amazing, and he can do the same for you, is my point. Obviously, very cool guy, very easy guy to work with. And Dom, I'm going to kind of let you walk us through this. So Dom decided, let's bring back the food bank drive we did, and you take it from there, Dommy. Go ahead.
Yeah, buddy. So I've been in contact with the SF Marin Food Bank, and they're great people. They're also down in the dog patch right near Longbridge. And so talk to them about doing this. We had done this earlier in the year. They had the September match, so they were going to match 3 times whatever we could raise. So from that point to the end of the year, they're doing the same thing. Just continued the whole program all the way through the end of the year. So we've raised up to $1,715 so far. We're trying to get the 2K if we can by the end of the year. And they're going to match it 3 times. So it's like a fantastic cause for such a great group. So, and Paulie, I know this specific food bank means a lot to you, and
it does.
You spend time going down to actual homeless encampments and giving food. So it's a great way for our community to kind of touch and help other people.
It's not funny, Dom, but it's ironic that a lot of people, and I'm not blaming anybody. I get it. We're all super busy. We all have so much going on, but I've heard people say this so many times, like, I wish there was something I could do. I wish I could help. I wish I could just affect some positive change. You really can. And that's the only reason I like to remind people, listen, so much food gets just thrown away and discarded in restaurants. I mean, they have to get rid of so much stuff every night. So I always think, like, dude, anything that we're throwing away is a meal for somebody else. Like, if you have leftovers you're not going to eat, don't chuck it away. Wrap it up in foil, and just, if you don't want to talk to the homeless, I understand that can be like a dicey proposition sometimes. Just leave it there. Just put the bag down and walk away. Just leave some food, because I guarantee you they're going to be grateful. I mentioned last week, and the only reason I do this is because I'm trying to maybe set a spark off with somebody else to think, like, you know what, I'm going to try that too. When I packed up a bunch of food and dropped it at the homeless encampment here in San Rafael the other day, I can't tell you how happy those guys were. They went immediately into the bag and started eating. Like, they were thrilled because they were hungry. So help those guys out however you can. If you can actually make a monetary contribution to this drive, Dommy, tell people, and thank you for doing this, from me to you. Thank you for bringing this back, man. Great idea. Where can people find this page, I guess, is the question. How did he get there?
So I'm sharing it here, and it's available in our YouTube bio page. So it's the first one. You can click on it. It'll bring you right to this page. That's a GoFundMe page. Yeah. That's connected directly to the Marin Food Bank. So donate anything. Anything helps. So we've been, the PMP Army and Familia has been awesome, really supporting this. So anything we can do to chip in. It's the end of the year, so it's all tax deductible. So it makes it nice and easy. You download a form for your taxes at the end of the year. It's such a great group. So anything we can do to help them.
Awesome, Dom. Thank you so much, brother, for doing that and bringing that back. And anything, if you guys can throw in $5, $10, $20, whatever, it all adds up and it all makes a big difference. So thank you, Dom, for that very much. And hey, we can wrap the show in a minute here. Just final thoughts on the Niners tonight, really quick, Dommy. Just give me whatever's in your head, let it out, and then we'll dismiss for a lunch break. But like I said earlier, I expect to win. I might not be pretty, but I'm expecting the Niners to go into that dome, handle their business, and come out of there with a W. That's the only thing I'm worried about tonight.
Same. I want to see Brock cook. I just want to see him go after it. You know what I mean? So, like, he's been building up the last couple games after coming back, and I have a really good feeling about him today. I think that's kind of where my focus is. I want to see Brock really, come after it and go after the Colts defense.
Well, we don't have Ricky Pearsall out there tonight, so I would imagine Juwan Jennings could potentially have a big night. Kittle could have a big night. Sometimes he throws to Juszczyk. I would like that too. Let's spread the ball around. Let's keep that defense off balance. And you're right. Brock is due to have like a night through the air, like a Brock Purdy game. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see him cook. And again, I think Juwan Jennings, I really feel like Kittle's going to have a big game. So like I could see a lot of action kind of going his way today.
You know, it's funny. This is one of those teams the Niners rarely face. You don't get a lot of Colts-Niners games. Yeah. How many of you guys remember this one? I'm going to pull one out of my hat real quick before we go. And I remember because I'm weird like this. I'm a freak. Do you guys remember in 98? It was like October. I can almost give you the date. It was not October of 98, Candlestick Park, Steve Young under center, Colts at Niners. And Steve Young had one of the great games of the later years of his career. And my memory is that he rushed for a touchdown like late in the fourth quarter to win that game. Anybody out there remember that game? That was an amazing game between the Colts and the Niners. I recall Little Jay. He had a great exactly. He had that great scramble. I also recall a really good Montana game in the Dome, either 89 or 90. Like there was a really good one between those two teams. But my point was, this is a matchup you don't see very often, Dommy. Colts.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and then we got that Jim Mora drop, the playoff drop. It came from against the Niners, yeah.
And you know what else is funny? It's like, the Colts are one of those teams that they don't, like, I don't know anybody who's like, dude, I hate the Colts.
Totally.
Dude, they don't like bring that out of anybody. They're just kind of there in the Midwest doing their thing. You know what I mean? Winning 8 games. Yeah, they win 8, lose 6. Like, they're not bothering anybody. But tonight, I got to go give them an ass kicking. Yeah. Like, I'm here to beat that ass.
They're not showing up with crazy uniforms. It's blue and white, the horseshoe logo. It's kind of chill. Yeah.
I would actually say this. I think, as I'm going to give a real quick scan of my brain, which is dangerous. I'm going to say that the Colts and the Raiders, well, maybe the Raiders have tweaked a little bit because they went silver numbers, but the Colts, I don't think have ever changed their uniform, like even slightly at all.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. It's like been chalked the whole way. Yeah.
Like if you look at like what Johnny Unitas was wearing, it's like the same uniform the guys wear today, So, but anyway, the Colts don't like evoke like hatred from anybody. They're just kind of there, doing their thing. And one other note too for tonight is that the Warriors are back home. I think Orlando is coming in tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Orlando? Yeah, I think it's Orlando tonight at Chase Center. Yeah. So you will have the dueling last channel button happening again tonight. Niners, Warriors, Niners, Warriors. All right, Tommy. Well, listen, brother, thank you for stepping in today. You have such a calm, steady hand. Thank you for that. And because, again, as I said, if this whole thing would have gone up in flames in 10 minutes, if I was trying to produce, I promise you, like Clint Eastwood said, a man's got to know his limitations. And I know mine. Like, I took that to heart from Clint. I'm like, you know what, Eastwood? I'm going to take that one home with me. I know I'm no producer. And, Dommy, you've done so much great stuff for us all year. So you're getting love all over the place. Great. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So, thank you for letting me get behind the roadcaster and the mic and hanging out with you guys. And, it was awesome to talk to Nikki. She's a fantastic Bay Area legend, right? So, I mean, that was awesome. So I'm really happy we got to do this. And tomorrow we got Rags coming on. It's going to be crazy.
This is going to be our final show before Christmas tomorrow. So everybody enjoy the Niner game tonight. We will have Rags along with us tomorrow, so we'll have the dump button ready just in case. Rags has been known to get loose. Rags, you have a good time at that holiday party. I hope it's fun. I also want to thank Nikki Blakk too. I love Nikki, and I wish her well. And you know what it is, Dommy? I'm not worried at all. Like, I'm actually confident. I'm looking forward to see what she comes up with because I know she's going to crush it. And she will. So anyway, thank you, Nikki Blakk. Onward and upward for you. We'll see Rags tomorrow. Go effing Niners. Dommy, thank you. And can you do all the crazy stuff Tony does? Crossfading and David Lee. All right, I'm gonna let you take us home. Go ahead, brother.
You want a little business time first?
Sure. Oh, because I see we got a Mad Hatter. Yeah.
Over, baby. It's business. It's business time.
By By the way, cool story about Nikki Blakk doing Ozzy's makeup, man. I didn't know that one. You know what? She should write a book. I'll tell her that. I'll text her. She should write a freaking book about her experiences. Because she said, and I know she is close with Halford, the metal god himself. Like you said.
So amazing. I love it.
Hey, thank you, Sweet Mad Hatter. I see you over there. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. Go Niners. Happy holidays. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at high noon. Cheers, y'all.
Peace, everybody.